All righty, everyone. We are live. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Welcome, welcome, welcome to My City, My Biz live magazine. I am Shantina Gladney, and I have the pleasure of being able to go ahead and feature some of the most amazing entrepreneurs worldwide. And today is not going to be any different. And so, as you know, My City, My Biz is to revive the economy and our communities one entrepreneur at a time. And so that has been established for going on 11 years. We usually host this expo where we're showcasing over 100 amazing entrepreneurs. But now, guess what? We have moved our expo right online. And guess what? We are featuring one of the most amazing entrepreneurs that has been there since day one of this movement of making sure that we create our own platforms, our own stages as entrepreneurs so that we can make sure we have a seat at the table because guess what? We are bringing our own tables. So once again, I would like to go ahead and bring up this amazing gentleman, which is the founder and CEO of WeMerge Media. That is none other than Michael Demond. How are you, Michael?
Hey, Shantina, I'm doing pretty good. How are you this morning?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us and just super excited to have you here on My City, My Biz live magazine as one of those amazing entrepreneurs. And so, Michael, if you could just tell us a little bit about you, who is the Michael Demond?
Oh, that's such a good question because what you're going to be experiencing today through this makeover is actually very personal and part of my own personal experience and journey. So, who I am and who I've come to understand myself to be has changed over the years. And that's kind of like I believe it's like the beauty of entrepreneurism when you're going on this self-discovery path and trying to figure out who you are and what it is that you can do, how you can add value to the world. So at the point that I am right now, what I've learned about myself is that I am an entrepreneur at heart. I love the flexibility. I love being able to create, and I love being able to have the freedom to use my time the way that I like, to be able to live the lifestyle that I like to live. And I've been doing this for about 20 years now, all varied in a number of different levels and areas of sales and marketing. But at this point right now, like I've have my marketing services firm that I started when I was 25 years old after seeing a bunch of people laid off at a job. And at that point, deciding like that will never be me. I did not want to ever be put in a position where I would have no idea that I'm going to come to work one day and somebody's going to tell me that everything has shifted. So that was a moment in my life where everything changed for me and I started looking into entrepreneurism. And over that time period, what I found about myself is that I really love sales and I really love marketing. I love the internet, and I've just found a way to be able to combine all those things together to do what it is that I do today.
Wow. That is so awesome and amazing. And I've been able to watch that whole metamorphosis, and it is so large. A lot of times people believe that their dreams is never going to manifest, but that's only because they didn't give it enough time. And
Right.
so I've saw you being able to go through all of those and never given up because now you're at this point in time and no one could take that experience from you, but now also coupled with what it is you love to do. And I know for sure your work is impeccable, but also the customer service that you provide to us as entrepreneurs. And we are a different breed, those emerging entrepreneurs. So for you to be able to have that experience and be able to really coach people through that whole process, when in the midst of it, Monday they may be onto one business, and then by Thursday they're like, Mike, I think I want to do something different, right? But you've been a part of really being able to make sure you nail that down, and so people can really be able to get on track and know, and you have a great way of being able to bring people's business to life, and they didn't even know even how to explain it. And so you are great about that.
Oh, thank you so
Yes.
much.
So
Kind words. It comes from personal experience. So I
yeah.
can relate to that. I've been an emerging entrepreneur many times.
Wow, that's right. I have as well, and that's what it's about. And but we chose not to give up, so that's what's going to put us there. We never forgot that why. And so, speaking of that why, Michael, if you can let me know what is your why? Why did you choose not to give up? Why are you still here today and continuing to service that industry of entrepreneurs? And I know you have a passion passion for it, but there's another why. What is it? What is that why?
Yeah, the why for me has been something that it's taken me a while to understand and really to get some clarity on. And I was so happy once I reached that point to know. And the bigger picture of all this, like the work that I produce and the things that I do for people are really just the result of the why that I have internally. And what I've come to love about people and know about people is that we all carry seeds of greatness within us. And it saddens me to actually see people who have these ideas and these visions of themselves that they don't feel they can either produce or they can't live up to. So I use my skills as marketing, graphic designer. I've combined all those things to kind of help people unearth that.
Okay.
I have a podcast called Uncover Your Greatness. So the story behind that is that I am focused on helping people uncover their greatness so they can live that life that they want and be that person they want to be. So that's what the underlying drive is for me to really to kind of help people understand who they are, help them do the things that I believe we all been kind of put here with a special set of circumstances throughout our life experiences that we are meant to share with other people and use as lessons for other people. And I use entrepreneurism and business and marketing to be able to help people do that.
Wow. And those are very key elements. And so I am about to move myself right out of the way so that you can go ahead and take the stage and get on the mic. So once again, thank you so very much, Michael DeMond from WeMerge Media. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you, Swanky.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks everyone. Such a pleasure to be here and have this opportunity on My City, My Biz to be able to introduce myself and then also to be able to share some information that I really hope is going to be useful for those who are watching. I have known Shantina for quite some time now, and she has always been an opportunity maker for me. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I want to thank her for giving me a chance to be able to speak to everybody today. So I titled this workshop, The Website Makeover, How to Build One That Works Even When You Don't. And I'm gonna give you a little backstory behind that. So as I mentioned prior is that I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years now. Sales and marketing is really my passion, but I also love technology. And it really wasn't until I would say this past year when I uprooted from Wisconsin and moved to California to kind of start living a whole different type of lifestyle that I really had to kind of step back and analyze who I was, what I wanted to do, how I wanted people to know me. And one of the things that really kind of stuck out to me was a quote that Shantina had mentioned at the beginning of the year that I heard, at least at the beginning of the year. She may have been saying this for a long time, but it was stop pressing snooze on your dreams. And I heard that and it really, really kind of made me take a moment to kind of pause everything because I was moving and I had to start new and I was kind of creating this whole new, at least in my mind, I was creating this whole new image of who I was and who I wanted to be and how I wanted people to know me. And I really had to take inventory as to, was I snoozing on my dreams? Like, were there things in me that I was not doing for whatever reason? And oftentimes those reasons are fear. So as a result of that, I took myself through a makeover process, which is why I'm calling this the website makeover. And because my business is purely driven online and I am here to serve people to kind of help them also do the same thing, I thought it was important that I've taken my life experiences, taken my skills and my knowledge as an entrepreneur and as a business owner and be able to create something that I can help other people. So I often see over the past 20 years, people come to me and they look for my guidance and my expertise to kind of help them do better business online. And what I often find when people come is either that they don't have a web presence, or if they do have one, they have something that's not working for them. My hope is that after watching this is that you'll have enough information to understand what the recipe is to be successful with your business online. I'm also going to give you, everything that I do right here. And then if you have any information or questions, or you want to know like, hey, what's the next step for me? I'm going to offer everyone who's attending this and watching this an opportunity to get a consultation so we can put a roadmap together for you. So my name is Michael DeMond. My company is WeMerge Media. And my main thing is that I leverage marketing technology and I use that to help people with lead generation and revenue creation. So times like this, especially right now during this COVID-19 pandemic, I believe that a lot of our vulnerabilities were exposed. And I am speaking from personal experience. Like, I'm fine, I'm doing well, but it's just, there's things that happen in society that cause you to shift and change the way that you see things. I'm just like, I see some vulnerabilities that I would be much more comfortable with if I strengthened them. And a lot of that is going to come through the way that I do my business, operate my business online. And you'll see a lot of that today. So the one thing that I did during my makeover process is that I had been away from my business for the past 3 years because I was working in employment as a director of sales and marketing for a software company. And after those 3 years, during those 3 years, I really just kind of stepped back because I wanted to get my my footing in that. And I stepped away from my business for a while. And because of that, I wasn't marketing, like I left the website as it was. But after that 3 years and I came back to it, I'm looking at the website that I'm creating. And I'm just like, oh, I can't go out like this. Like I really have to do something different and change that. So I went through this process of figuring out how can I create a website that has purpose. And there were three elements to that for me as a small business owner and doing business online that I thought was important. That's to share invaluable information, to have some lead generation in place, and to have some revenue generation in place. I'm going to talk through each of these sections, and this is the recipe that I use for myself. This is also the recipe I use for my clients, and something that you can use for yourself as well. So when I talk about sharing valuable information, I'm really talking about like, what is it that I have, that I've been through, that I've experienced, that I can use to be able to help other people, and how can I create some content around that? We've grown up hearing and knowing that knowledge is power was what was the quote. And you figure, hey, if I know something, then I have the power and I'm good. Well, in actuality, knowledge is only potential power. And the power really comes from, what do you do with the knowledge that you have? Do you have a plan of action to be able to put those plans into place? And are you really directing that knowledge that you have into something that can really be driven to be able to help other people and to help yourself? So for me, when it comes to websites and making a website that's going to be effective and efficient in accomplishing the goals of having purpose and to generate revenue for me as a small business owner, I think it's very important that I kind of take an assessment of myself and figure out what knowledge do I have, like what life experiences have I been through that I can now use in my business and then be able to package that up to be able to offer a product or service to people. So, I had to take some time and do some inventory to figure out, who was I? Who do I want to be and how do I want people to know me? I didn't just get a website, sit down, buy a website address, go to some software and start building a website. Like these are all steps that I've taken beforehand to really understand like who it was who I was, who I could serve, and what do I need to be able to create to be able to serve them. So I think it's important in order for you to be able to create invaluable information that others are going to want access to, or that others are going to respect you for, want to do business with you for. You really need to ask yourself some of these questions and figure out, hone in really on what it is that you're great at, what is it that other people may value from you, and how you can put that knowledge that you have into service. So, after I've gone through that process of figuring out who I was, who I wanted to be, that's what I came up with the fact that, I love leveraging marketing technology to help people generate leads and to create revenue. Like that's the driving force behind the things that I do. So now I'm been put into a position where I can start to manifest those dreams that I was snoozing on because I'm going to have the right infrastructure in place to be able to do so. So when part of the manifesting my dreams is that I like breaking things down into three. And for me, like it was three different things that I had to focus on. So that was creating, that was the products, creating services, creating partnerships like the one that I have now, like this partnership with Shantina has given me the opportunity to be here to speak to all of you. So that's important that you think about who those partnerships are, who you can partner with to be able to help you through this journey. The other thing was packaging, like the brand identity. So what you're seeing here on the screen is actually the result of me kind of going through a rebranding for myself. I met with photographer, Jamie Rabarge, who did my photography before I left Wisconsin. I've kind of gone through and I have the skills to be able to do my own graphic design. But if you don't, make sure you know how to leverage somebody who does, so that if you don't have proper packaging in place, or if you don't have a brand identity that you feel represents you well, that you take some time to go through that and resolve that issue. And then the last thing was really, how can I leverage technology to share the invaluable information that I'm going to be creating? And in this case, we're talking about using your website, using social media, and using email marketing. Those are three like very driving forces behind me getting clients, me being able to demonstrate my value to people, and then also me being able to support myself financially, through the business that I get generated through having this stuff in place. So I talked a little bit about sharing the invaluable information and why that's important. If the information that you have and the knowledge that you have and the experiences that you have are all contained within you, and you don't create an avenue for those things and those experiences and that information to get out to other people, what good is it really going to do for the greater society? I've gone through many phases of my entrepreneurial journey, and each one I've learned something about myself. I'm always on a self-discovery journey while I'm also on my entrepreneurial journey, asking myself these questions over and over again until I get to the point where I feel very comfortable with it. So I'm very comfortable with where I am now in my business and how I show up to people and what people look to me for. Like, I'm very comfortable in that, but just know that it took me going through my own self-discovery, asking myself those difficult questions, listening to what other people have to say to get to this point. So now we're gonna move on past the sharing of valuable information. So I'll do a summary of this, but just kind of make sure that you take into consideration in your case what that is. What is it that you offer? What value do you have to give to other people, and why would they value it? And making sure that you have something in place to then be able to get that information and distribute it out. So the next part of that is lead generation. And lead generation, if you're not familiar with what it means by that, is basically finding people who may have some interest in doing some business with you, connecting with you, partnering with you. In sales, like, lead generation is what you do in the beginning to be able to find people that you can do some business with. So oftentimes we see what happens when people start a new business, and because of what I do, I see this quite often, is that someone will either come to me because they have a website or they need a website, and there's this idea that, hey, I have this website, I launched, and I'm sitting here and nothing is happening. And what I want you to understand is that having a website by itself is not going to generate business for you. Like, you have to have some sales strategies built into what you're doing and how you're operating your business. You cannot build a website and wait for traffic to come. You really have to be actively engaged in generating that traffic, and I'm going to tell you how you can do so. Because oftentimes what ends up happening is that we have a website up that we think is great, and we post a link up on our bio or we put it up on our social media, and then we sit and we wait and we wonder why people aren't contacting us. And you get frustrated. You stop putting time into that website and you stop investing your energy into it. But what I'm going to show you is just two. I'm going to break it down for just two things for you to think about. How can you generate more leads for your business? And there's just two main approaches to this. You can do things that are free, or you can do things that are paid. Like, if you think about it in those two buckets, sometimes we have more time than money, or sometimes you have more money than time, which is why I always kind of, when I'm working with clients, give people the choice. There may be a point where you're like, hey, Mike, I need this stuff done. I really value it. I don't have the time, nor do I care to learn how to do this. I need you to do it for me. Then, I have an option for people to be able to do that. But then there's also times, especially when you're an emerging entrepreneur and you're starting out, where you don't have the money that you can put into it the way that you would like to, which is why I then offer courses and I teach people in the same way that I'm doing right now, how they can take some of the stuff that I would do and do it for themselves. So you have to kind of decide in each scenario what's going to be the currency that you have. Is it going to be your time, or is that currency going to be money? So when it comes to free ways that you can generate leads for your business, organic search optimization is one. So organic search optimization, and we've all done this before. If you've ever gone to Google and you typed in something that you were looking for, and a list and a result of pages have come up, oftentimes a good 95% of that stuff is what we would call organic search optimization, organic results. So because of the keywords you type in, Google has given you a list of sites that they find are relevant to that. Sometimes you see paid listings on there, and they'll usually say advertising on there. So those are people who are paying to show up for those keywords. But you can take advantage of organic search optimization simply by doing a couple of things. And one of them is creating content, like creating blog posts, writing on social media, making videos on YouTube like we're doing here today. All these things, when you take advantage of the description, and when they ask you what are the keywords that go to this, all those things are feeding into your organic search optimization and making your business and you more discoverable. Another thing that you can do that's totally free is, again, putting some value on why partnerships are important, is simply just ask people for references or for referrals, or ask people to share the content that you create. Like those are the free things that you can easily do in your business to be able to start that lead generation process and start finding some people who may be interested in doing some business with you. Now, on the other side of that, I always do both. So, I do a mixture of free things and then I do some paid things. So one of the most obvious paid things would be advertising. Advertising could be advertising on social media. So a lot of times people may be boosting posts on social media or running ads on Facebook and Instagram or running ads on YouTube. Those are all examples of advertising, ways that people spend money to do lead generation through advertising. Another is paid search. So I gave you that scenario where on a Google search result, you have all the organic stuff, but then you have those paid searches. So you can pay for placement for those sorts of things. And then another thing that's been huge, in the past, I would say 10 years, especially when it comes to social media, is people paying influencers. And I just did a workshop on, how to generate passive income as an influencer, because I want people to understand, like, even though I may not be a celebrity in the wide world, there's a group of people that I have some influence over. And in that scenario, in my business, I'm an influencer. And you in your business can also be an influencer if you are taking advantage of some of these things and these tools and these tips that I share with you, the presentation, and then the things that are offered through WeMerge Media. So as I mentioned, I do a combination. My approach is to create invaluable content. So even this webinar, this workshop that you're on right now, is going to be content for me. This is free for you to attend. I'm sharing my recipe for success to be able to have a website that works even when you don't. This is content. Afterwards, this is going to be recorded. I'm putting this up on my website. I'm putting it on social media. I'm reposting it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Why? Because it's going to be lead generation activity for me. Those are like all this, anytime you're posting, you're going live, like all this stuff is content that you can use and repurpose in a number of different ways. So my approach is to create invaluable content like this, educate people. I create things that I can use to educate people. I demonstrate how things work. I usually do a lot of that in my do-it-yourself marketing workshops. And creating and sharing invaluable content like we covered before, like that's the other part of my lead generation. So when I'm putting things out there, even if it's free content, it's still generating leads for me. I'll go to my website in a second and just kind of show you what this looks like in the world, how I created some content that ends up generating leads for me and getting my list, my warm leads list larger so that I then have an opportunity to do some business with people. So, this is what works for me. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. This should work for you as well if you kind of follow the strategy here and just put it on repeat. Do this on a daily basis, do this in a weekly basis in a number of different ways, and you'll start seeing those leads come through. So another component, the last component that many of us, everybody needs, I think, and some of us can use some improvement in, me being one of the perfect examples, is that revenue creation online. I have seen people who have websites with tons of traffic and they are not leveraging these different ways that you can generate additional revenue outside of offering like a service or doing a product. So there's a guy named Grant Cardone that I listen to on YouTube, and he's in the car industry, but he makes a lot of sales content. And he's brash, he's loud, like he's not for everybody, but you can always kind of pull some gems out. And one of the gems that I pulled out from him was he was yelling one time in his video, "Who has your money?" Like, you need to know who has your money, and you need to know what it is that you have to do to get there. So I wanted to just talk about this revenue creation part, because let's just be serious about it. You can't have a business if you don't have revenue. That's just the bottom line. So you must think about who has your money, and then you also need to think about what is it that you have to do, what value do you have to offer, what can you provide in order to get it. And in many cases, my case included, is that we are often the barrier for people who have our money getting it. I had that realization when I came back into my business, and I'm sitting there thinking like, well, my website's still up. I still do some business here and there, but I wasn't active on social media. I didn't have proper buttons for the products and the services on my website. So if somebody is out there and they do have my money, I'm not even making it easy for them to give it to me. Like, I'm not giving it them a button that they can just simply click, submit payment to. Now, since I've resolved some of that, like every day I'm waking up to notifications of something coming into my account, whether it be from PayPal or whether it be from affiliate marketing. Like I have multiple revenue streams going up now. And I want you to take that in consideration is like, think about what is it that you offer, who wants it, and then how can you deliver it? How can you get it to them, and how can you make it easier for them to have? A lot of us are in industries that are like multi-million-dollar industries, travel, healthcare, not health and care, but health and beauty. Like there are just huge industries that we're part of. And yeah, it's easy to get lost in that. But if you put the right things in place, if you follow these three components that I'm explaining to you, you can definitely tap into it and start to benefit from that. I've had to go through and do a makeover, like I said, of my own website and figure out what do I need to do in order to get my money, get the money from the people who have it and me needing it. So in my case, there's a few things that I have to take in consideration. Um, how can I leverage marketing technology? Because that's what I came to figure out I was good at. That's what I love to do. So what do I have to offer? I have my experience with marketing technology that I can offer to people who need it. Who wants it? I figured out that small business owners who understand the value of growing their business online would want that and need that. And that's something that people are willing to pay for. And then I had to think about how I can deliver it. And I've come to that by putting a method in place for me to put those buttons on my website and to deliver my content by offering a service and teaching people how they can do some of these things on their own. So because of that, me going through this different process and going through this makeover, I've been able to generate three different revenue streams that I've kind of divided up into three sections. So one of them being selling my services. I do web design, graphic design, and I offer consulting. Another has been creating products. So what you're watching right now is an example of one of the products that I create, online learning. Many of us are at home. People are at home looking for ways to just improve their professional development. They're looking for ways to take their business from offline to online. I have a perfect example of a longtime friend of mine who was a fitness instructor, and she's working in the gym. The gyms are closed right now. So she's like, hey, I got to figure out a way to take my business from being in person to online. And we just launched and completed her website, which I'll give you a quick walkthrough too to show you how we put some of these systems in place. And then last but not least is the workshop that I put together before was promoting partners, finding partners that you can partner with who are willing to pay you commission in exchange for that exposure that you give them. That was affiliate marketing. So all of these things combined, the three different steps that we talked about, sharing invaluable information, doing lead generation, revenue generation, all these are components of having a successful website that works for you, that generates for you, and that works when you don't. So I was playing around with this different title, and I asked people, beforehand, like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that title? And people love the idea of having a website that works when they're not working, me included, because I don't always want to be tied to this computer, having to invest my time in this. Like I had to invest my time initially in developing a system that can be working when I'm not working. So then when I come back to the computer, I can have more focused time and do things that aren't so time consuming for myself. So that's what I like about marketing technology. That's why I use that as a tool to be able to help other people. And if you take in consideration the things that I've shared here with you, if you're looking at your website right now and realizing like, I need some work, I don't have these things in place and I need some guidance. I'm offering everyone who's attending and watching this, the My City, My Biz community, an opportunity to get a consultation. We don't have to, to go into depth. We really just need to kind of get an inventory as to where are you, where do you want to go? And then we'll figure out how we can get you there and go from there. So my email address is here on the screen. When this video is posted, I'm also going to put a link that you can just go on the website for people who aren't here during the live, and they can fill out a form and we can get that consultation going. But before I go from this, I just wanted to just kind of take some of these scenarios that I described to you and show you what they look like in the real world. So let me just go ahead and use this here. Let's first just kind of start with my friend that I was telling you about. We've been friends for like 30 years now. And she's a personal trainer, a certified personal trainer, my friend Yolanda Hunter in Minnesota. And like I said, she had been doing personal training when she's a collegiate athlete and the gyms are closed. And she's like, hey, Mike, like, and now I know you're going to hear this, Yolanda, but I've been telling her for a long time to do this. But we're here now, and I'm glad she took advantage of this opportunity because now she has these things in place. She has a website where she can direct people to. So when she's not instructing and she's not teaching, she has that opportunity to be able to still be generating leads and putting things in place to generate revenue. Here's a lead generation. She gives a free workout for people to be able to try out. It's on YouTube. And they can click through to YouTube. You can watch them do this like 45, 50-minute workout with her. She's also listing all her certifications and other business opportunities that partners may have to be able to want to partner with her. One of the things that she did was that she was doing live fitness training classes on Facebook during COVID-19 since the gyms are closed. And she's like, I'm creating all this content, but it's like, it's free and it's available out there. I was like, well, we can put something in place to be able to monetize that. So what we've done is she had this idea. She wanted to have a crew and she wanted to create the Go Yo Go crew. So we've put something in place that's going to allow her to be able to generate revenue online again, when she does not work. So let me just kind of show you what we've done. All right, so there we go. So now she has an opportunity here to develop this online membership. And what happens, using tools that are out there, when people sign up, they actually get directed to join a private group that she has. So they can click on the button here. They can do a monthly subscription. We utilize PayPal, where it's going to automatically bill on a monthly basis. So that'll save her time and she doesn't have to worry about, manually invoicing people and all this stuff over time. Or, give people the option, because many people, they want the savings, especially during this time, are looking for saving opportunities and they still want to maintain their fitness. So we came up with a program to be able to give people a year access. So now she has something in place that she didn't have before. And what happens is when people go through this and they sign up and they pay, she gives them access to her free group on Facebook, not her free group, but her private group on Facebook, so they can then continue to get those live workshops and courses from her. So here's a real world example of a recent client that we really just gone through. You'll notice this website is only 4 pages. You don't have to have this 20-page in-depth website to be able to do the things that I'm talking about. I've even done these types of things on a single page. So it's really just, if you have that recipe and you understand the structure of how these things are set up, it's something that I believe that you can do. And if you don't know how to do it on your own and you want some assistance, then of course you can always come to me and I can help you through that. So let me just kind of, didn't type that right, take you through real quick how I adapted some of those same principles into my own website. So, yeah. Here's WeMergeMedia.com. So here's my website. You'll see right away that I have my last workshop that I was just telling you about, how to generate passive income as an influencer. I have a sign up button on here. So here I'm showing people that, hey, I have something to offer that you may be able to need. I have an option for them to be able to sign up for it. I have a little background information about who I am, what I do, what my services are. I have some third-party testimonials from some clients. I have some examples of my work. So, I'm putting all these things in place to be able to show people like, hey, here's what I can do for you. And hoping that, I'm doing the right things by creating content like this and promoting my services and promoting my workshops so that people have an opportunity to determine, this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. I have free workshops on here, which I use for lead generation. So down here, I have on my website, this is an example of lead generation, where you can subscribe for my do-it-yourself marketing updates where people can put their email and put their first name and their last name, and they'll get access to workshops. Some of the workshops that I do are totally free. So here's one here. When someone comes here and they want to take this workshop and they want to sign up for it, all they have to do is enter their contact information, their email address, and submit that. When they submit that, I land them over to the workshop page, which is, can't be accessed unless you fill out this form. But then now I have a lead that I can then follow up with and figure out how I can help them, what value I can add to them and what they're doing. And for many of the services that I have here, I also use like my blog, which I call Tips and Tools, to be able to promote some of my affiliate partners here. So I have partners like this one here being CorpNet. This company does LLC formation for people who need that. I partner with them through an affiliate network. And, I looked at what they did. I read about it. I know this is something that my audience could benefit from and use. So then we've partnered up, and for every time someone comes through here or somebody asks me, hey, who can I go through for LLC formation? I can refer them here to CorpNet, and CorpNet will give me a commission for doing that. So these are all things that I have done for my own business that I mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation that we just did, that you can also do simply by just kind of following the formula that I created for you. So I do hope that some of you have watched this and saw that there's some value in this for you. You know, I would say this workshop is for people who, one, understand the value of leveraging the internet and leveraging technology to be able to do better business online, to be able to create some warm leads and to be able to create some revenue. And then I think it's also for people who are willing to do that work, if you haven't done it already, of self-discovery to figure out, you know, who has your money and what is it that you have to do in order to be able to meet the needs that they have. And once you do that and you have this proper infrastructure in place to be able to take people through that and to make it, you know, to make yourself accessible, you have a very good chance of increasing your revenue, increasing your leads, and then giving your business some sustainability and opportunity to be around for a while. So again, please feel free to take advantage of the consultation. My email address is here, and then like I said, I'll put in the comments once we post this video afterwards on my website, to where you can go and sign up for it there too. All right, hope that was helpful for you. Oh, you're on mute, Shantine, I think. You're on mute, can you hear me?
I think I unmute myself, right? The lips moving. Wow, so that was so great. The information that you shared with us, I mean, it really was. And a lot of times we put websites together, and I know I use mine as a pretty much a vision board and business plan, if you want to say. Sometimes, you know, as I had to put some things on hold. And so just to see that in action and how we're missing out on revenue, and we feel as though we have to be right there. That's a lot of times the problems that we have as entrepreneurs, that we feel like we have to be there through every single process. And
Right.
never grow and scale our businesses up where they can work without us. So you did an amazing job at once again knocking us upside our head and saying, guess what? You don't need to be there. You could be on the beaches of the world while your business is still paying you. So thank you so much, Mike.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, you know, like I said, like I've learned from me, like sharing the things that I've learned through my own journey. I was that person. That's why I was so burnt out from my business so a while, because I was there for everything. You know, I didn't have automation in place and I didn't have systems in place. And now I live a much more peaceful lifestyle where I can travel and I can do all those things with peace of mind and not be stressed about it because I have the proper infrastructure in place.
That's right. Wow. Well, that is great. Fantastic. Thank you so much, because we as entrepreneurs, we need to hear that voice from people that have been that caterpillar, and then they went ahead and they evolved into that butterfly. But then, you know, once you get to that next level, you see that there's some other improvement you want to grow into. And so you've always been that person that was fearless when it came to growing into that next level, that next stage. So I am so, so very thankful to have you here on My City, My Biz Live magazine. Looking forward to everything that you will have that's coming through. So everyone, do make sure that you connect with Michael DeMond on WeMerge. You can find him on all social media platforms, but as well, you can go ahead and make sure that you do find him at wemergemedia.com. And then also, you want to make sure that you do look up his YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to his YouTube channel, because you do not want to miss it. Like he said, he has some great, great content and information that he gives away for totally free. So can you imagine what he teaches in his paid courses? So I just want to make sure that you remember that. So is there anything else you would like to leave the audience with today?
I would just like to just remind everybody, you know, no matter where you are on this journey, like I know the roller coasters and I know the ups and downs, like just don't give up is the key. Don't snooze on the dreams. I swear you changed my life with that one. Don't give up, you know, just keep on going, find the people that you need to fill the gaps for the things that you don't have, and keep finding a way to go forward.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so very much. I'm quite sure you have inspired so many. You've inspired and educated me today. Thank you once again, Michael. You take care and take charge.
My pleasure. Thank you. You have a good one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Alrighty, everyone. So you have just tuned in to another episode of My City, My Biz Live Magazine. And guess what? We thank you. We thank you so very much for tuning in. And if you are interested in being a part of My City, My Biz, definitely make sure that you do go to our website, take a look, see what it is that we're about. Right now, we are featuring emerging entrepreneurs. We're giving them free advertising and marketing on our platforms. That's what it's about, being able to help one another. And so this show is sponsored by SGGN Group, which is the Entrepreneur Society. That is right. We are a business and lifestyle network, and we work with emerging entrepreneurs. So we feel as though you should build a business where you do not have to escape from. That's right. We teach you how to make a living while living, and we know the formula. So I look forward to seeing you somewhere in these virtual streets, right? While we are here at this very moment. But then also, I look forward to seeing you somewhere in the city, in a city near you. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I am Shantina Gladney. Thank you once again. And remember to always stop pressing the snooze buttons on your dreams, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.